Hassan Piker is being thrown a subpoena because he is probably the largest anti-capitalist voice right now. He went to Cuba. He did everything legally, mind you. He went through all the legal obstacles that you have to get through to go to Cuba as a U.S. citizen in the first place. I believe he went on a journalist visa and is still being thrown a subpoena for supporting the communist regime of Cuba. The U.S. is trying to instill fear in us anti-capitalist, communist, socialists because they don't want us to think we have any merit to what we're saying. They want us to look scary and radical. That's what the Red Scare is to make people who are anti-capitalist look insane, when actually nobody likes how the economy is working right now. What economy do we live in the US? It's capitalism. Nobody likes how it's working and nobody wants to do anything about it. But once people want to start doing something about it, once people start to see the harms that the US is pushing and forcing other countries into, even like Cuba, the US has to crush that. The US has to cut off resources to countries like Cuba, which is the reason why their people are suffering, not because they live under a communist regime, but because the US heard they're living under a communist regime and they don't like that, because they don't want their own people to start thinking, can I have workers' rights? Can I not live under a fascist capitalist regime? Can I do that? Once you start thinking that, you start to realize you can have workers' rights, you can have healthcare, you can have free housing, you can have childcare, whatever it is you need to function as a human being, we can do that. But the US government is making that insanely hard to do for everybody, as we can all see, because they don't want us to become communist or socialist or anti-capitalist and start to ask for our rights. Because then the people who run the US, the billionaires, they lose their money. They have to start giving their money to people who need it. So Hassan Piker is being thrown a subpoena. He's giving voices to people and educating people about the people who live in Cuba. He made a documentary on his channel about the people living in Cuba, the doctors and how they're affected, the everyday people and how they're affected by the US cutting off resources. And like, yeah, I might sound like a crazy conspiracist to libs or like capitalists, but if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. The Red Scare is a propaganda mission, essentially, that has been going on to squash any anti-capitalist thinking, because then the people start to think and then they start to ask for their rights. So don't let this scare you. And Hassan, if you're somehow listening, keep doing what you're doing. Don't let them scare you, because they're gonna keep trying to silence you, but we gotta stick together. We gotta stick together. The people gotta stick together.